Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sonic 3, and it's now the and Knuckles portion. It's also Mushroom Valley now.
Okay, so I have something I want to bring up. You remember when you were playing on the playground at kids and doing like pretend Dragon Ball Z fights or whatever, and you're like,
I'm pretend Sonic Fire and Ice fights.
Yeah. So like, let's say like I'm going like I shoot my magic laser beam at you, and then your friend's like, well, I've got this super shield that can block your magic laser, and then I'm like, but my magic laser has a superpower that can go through any shield. Well, my shield became even stronger and now can block your laser.
I have
and,
the power
and
to
that goes on for like another
you're
10 hours.
Yeah, you're literally just describing Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but anyway, that's why Hypersonic's dumb, is because Supersonic is like, oh man, I'm the superest Sonic that's ever been. Yeah, but I've got an even more Supersonic that's better than your super. It's dumb. That's why I don't like it.
It is kinda conceptually, and that's probably why they never bring it back. Well, that and the colors. They're so
Hypersonic is only implemented to give players a reason to keep going after special rings.
It's like
Sonic and Knuckles
it's really obviously a patchwork answer to the fact that they wanted to combine these two games together, but they also wanted to be able to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds in both halves of the experience. It's a bit lopsided though, because like the narrative clearly it was designed to not let you get any emeralds after Hidden Palace Zone, and they stuck to that. So when you're in Sonic and Knuckles, you have like a bizarrely short window to get your Chaos Emeralds. So
the rings are easier to find though, because like even as a kid who's mad at this, I found myself finding.
I would say it's easier to find in Sonic 3 and
I disagree, Ted, because I disagree like in a very like immediate way, because I had I came back to Sonic 3 and Knuckles for the first time in like 3 years for Sonic 3 Air last week, and oh Jesus, I just barely managed to get the 7th Super Emerald on the last possible special ring in Lava Reef Act 2 before Knuckles.
There's a good amount of rings in Mushroom Hill Zone. There's a decent amount in Flying Battery, but they're really well hidden in that zone.
I just found at the very least in Mushroom Hill, I found way more rings than normal just by running forward, and then when I would have run into a wall and crashed, I just ran into a ring.
I don't know which forward you're talking about, because
left or right.
Forward. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, like,
there's only two forwards in this game.
Yeah,
well, there's like 3 or 4 forwards. This is a Sonic game. It's multi-tier.
This is a 2D game, Lewis. There's only 2 directions. Are we questioning the basic
principles?
No, there's no.
Sonic has gotten us so warped that we're questioning the principles of cardinal directions.
No, it's not like
the compass is porting forward.
Mushroom Hill Zone is kind of unique in the Sonic 3 and Knuckles levels, in that it's the most Sonic 2-y level in the game. It's like you only really head one direction most of the time, and it's
you were just saying that there's multiple directions, and now you're saying there's only one direction.
Yes, there's multiple directions. There's a top level, there's a middle level, there's another middle level, and then there's a lower level below that.
I mean, like by going right and doing the thing where Sonic goes through loops, and then you hit a wall when you're supposed to like go on one of these things or whatever. There would be like a ring there. You would hit it and hit it.
If you do that, you're gonna miss like 2/3 of the rings, because like a lot of the rings are on different like tiers of the level.
Well,
maybe you just like got absurdly lucky.
Most people aren't jumping through the tiers when they're playing this game for the first time.
No, they're falling through them because they missed a jump, and now they're in the middle because when they were up high. And it's like it's weird, the ring placement in this in this level too, because like some of the rings are in like really awkward locations where you're not likely to find them unless you either like just accidentally fell off a certain tier.
I don't know. It kind of just seems like they're all in the wall, and then if you happen to run into the wall,
they're all in walls, and there's one special ring in particular that you actually are like likely to just run across, because like on a specific tier there's a secret wall that you have to run through to get to the end of the level, and the's a ring in there.
Yeah, you can get about 4.
I think there's
4 or 5.
I think there's 6 in Mushroom Hill.
Yeah. Like if you're actively looking by going through the ropes, you're guaranteed to at least run to like 2.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Whereas I found like maybe one a zone in other sections.
I mean, you also have to remember this is effectively the first stage in Sonic and Knuckles. So they want you to make sure you
but it's also not the first stage in a new game though.
That's part of.
But it is the first new stage of a new set of emeralds. So.
Yeah, but I mean...
Yeah, but only because it's connected to, like, Sonic 3, though. Like, because remember, the thing that we have to keep in mind is that this is originally just the second part of a one game. And I think it's just a result of the level escalation. Like, Mushroom Hill has awkward emeralds because it's technically, like, the 7th stage in a giant game.
Yeah, but it's like, you can't get the Hyper Emeralds, like, in Carnival Night or Ice Cap. You have to wait until you're past launch base. So they're going to front load a lot of the rings so that you can get the Hyper
interesting because like what was Mushroom Valley's like original intended position in the level order?
I want to say
it was always after launch base.
Yeah.
Well, it was always after launch base, but like Flying Battery was before.
Only Flying Battery was meant to be earlier in Sonic 3.
Okay, so
yeah,
essentially, Mushroom Hill was kind of like if it was always intended to have like quite so many special rings in it, I think was meant to be like a late game sort of last hurrah for the player to try and collect however many emeralds they're still missing, because after this point, like all the like. Let's not even discount, like, move Flying Battery out of that level list. We're going straight from Sandopolis to Lava Reef after this. And there's like no easy special rings in Sandopolis. Sandopolis is a bitch.
There's one in Sandopolis which I think is somewhat easy, but
there's like one of the special rings in Sandopolis is a timing puzzle that you're probably going to fail if you don't see it coming.
A couple are timing puzzles actually.
Yeah, so like
a couple are hidden behind the sand waterfalls.
And then in like Lava Reef Zone, there's a couple.
There's plenty.
Like, there's plenty of special rings in Lava Reef Zone, but a few of them are in like extremely awkward locations. Like there's one where you can only get to it if you can fly with Tails. So if you're playing Sonic alone, to hell with you.
No, you have to just take not necessarily, because no special ring to my knowledge is locked. Like
no, there's like this.
Maybe the exception. With maybe the exception of one or two in like the Sonic and Knuckles portion with like Knuckles.
No, there's like this.
Sonic can get to all. Sonic can get to them all.
No, there's
the one
you're
talking about in Lava Reef.
Ceiling.
The one you're talking about in Lava Reef. If it's the one I'm thinking of, you can get to it by riding the top of the spiked pillar.
No. It's through a ceiling. There's nothing to ride up there. The only way that I was able to get to it was to have Tails airlift me, and specifically from like the top platform of a bunch of steps with springs on them, and I had to maneuver past these fire launchers, right?
Ooh, nice glitch.
No, I think there's a monitor there.
Oh, there's a monitor there. Okay.
And like the ceiling is this big old open passable secret area, but it's only passable from the bottom as far as I know. So like, I mean, unless there's another way to get in there from another direction, I didn't find it.
I personally have played this game so many times that I'm always stumbling across a new ring that I feel there are plenty of opportunities to get all of the super emeralds.
That one's a gimme.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is assuming like nobody's just copping out and looking up at a level map, which I'd never do for Sonic.
Here's the thing: there's always at least like one ring. Or it feels like there's always at least one ring on every path, and there's usually 3 paths. So you're probably going to run into at least one easy one per zone. And I just felt like you're...
Mostly because of Flying Battery.
Yeah.
But like, even like in the Sonic and Knuckles portion, that's 4 zones for 7 emeralds.
Yeah, but that's just why I felt that it was easier to find them in Mushroom Hill, because there's just more than normal. Like, I don't normally go out of my way to look for these things. I just kind of happen to run into them. And that's just kind of... I felt like, oh, that happened more frequently in this zone than normal. Like, I'm not arguing that there's less chances for them, but I also feel like unless if you play this game, like, a lot, you're probably not actively hunting for these things. And so when you find one, it's just a happy surprise.
I can back up like Ted's argument, because even after playing this game for so many years, if I'm leaving Mushroom Hill with only like 3 emeralds, I'm sweating.
Yeah,
because I don't remember where a lot of rings are in other stages because they're just
I'm leaving
more
with
obscure.
I'm leaving with only technically one, but I found two. So
when I played,
I know there are at least two I missed in the autumn section of the stage.
When I played Air last week, I failed a special stage because I was trying to get the perfect, and I was like at the end of Mushroom Hill Zone, and I only had like 3 emeralds at this point. So I'm like,
oh, I only have 1 now. So these are really interesting going forward.
This is gonna suck. I don't know where most of the emeralds and where most of the rings and flying battery are. Like,
no one knows where most of them are in flying battery. Some of them are so.
There's like,
I know where 3 of them are now.
There's like 2 that I know in flying battery. One at the end of Act 1 and one near the end of Act 2.
Don't forget the one at the start.
Yeah, the one at the start that you go low on.
I didn't know there was one at the start. Where?
See, isn't this great? learning new things even so many years later.
One of the odd things in Sonic 3 Air is that because the aspect ratio is widened, the spike balls in between these pillars, and they are spike balls, I didn't know this, they're further apart when they enter and exit the screen than they normally would be, so you can see the gaps in between them.
Yeah.
I always thought they were like
it's
pseudo 3D
probably just how
spike.
the Genesis is rendering the graphic trick.
The 3D effect on those things is actually really good for the time. I actually applaud them.
and it's the one place where Sonic 3 Air kind of ruins the effect, because
I'll never forgive them.
Because with the screen being so wide, you can see them when they're like farther apart from each other, and you can see the gaps in between the 3 segments of the spike pole.
Okay, so I have an issue with Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles here, because making 2 games into 1 game. Oh, this is a Knuckles thing. Okay.
No, it's not.
Making 2 games into 1 game, I understand that Mushroom Hill needs to not be super hard because it's the first level of the game, but then they just kind of assume that Flying Battery is supposed to be harder than Launch Base, and so it's a weird difficulty spike if you're just playing Sonic and Knuckles.
No, I don't think Flying Battery is harder than Launch Base. It was supposed to go before Launch Base, for one thing.
Well, there's so many bottomless pits. Like here, if you make one mistake, you die. You know,
I would argue that it has
Ted,
I would argue that it has. I would argue it has nothing to do with the game being split into 2, because Mushroom Valley was developed alongside all the other stages in the game. It was always meant to be that way.
Well, I mean, no, that
Mushroom Valley was always meant to be a breather level.
It is supposed to be a breather level, but these things, and I do think that breather levels are supposed to be in games. You can't just have a game get escalating harder because you don't ever get a break.
I was looking at that wall because I was thinking of Mania.
I just think that they go too high back up with Flying Battery Zone. I think that it should have escalated a little bit. The jump back up shouldn't have been this steep.
I don't think it's that steep at all, because like
you've been playing this game for like 20 years,
I mean, like even back in the day, I remember like really getting a kick out of Flying Battery Zone and not having much trouble with the bottomless pits in particular, because except for like one alternate route down bottom that you really have to try to reach in the first place, there isn't really any tricky platforming involved over the bottomless pits. It's all like pretty wide, slow-moving platforms.
I would disagree. I think that there's so much open air in this stage, you're fairly likely to fall down to the lower stages when you're
I fell enough times, yeah, but I never really felt like it was all that hard either. I had more trouble on the top of the ship with the propellers than I did with the bottomless pits. It's weird. But like,
we're arguing what I found hard compared to what I found hard at this point.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you know, what I'm more trying to point out is that, like, I don't really like, if you have trouble with the bottomless pits, I don't really count that as the difficulty itself inherently spiking, as it just being a thing that some players have a harder time with than
there's
others.
Also just more obstacles, there's more things that can hurt you. I don't find it any more difficult than, say, Labyrinth Zone after Spring Yard.
Well,
Labyrinth Zone is more hard after.
I always thought the badniks and the obstacles, like the specific like up and down spike crusher things from Launch Base, were like a little bit more prone to blindsiding me.
I don't know, like Ryan's gotten hit a lot in this stage, I think, and I don't.
I mean, the point about, I mean, that's just Sonic in general, because that's why they developed the ring system the way it is. It's like you'll get hit, but you won't ever really die
Maybe,
for
but that's
it.
why you guys don't like Metropolis, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Thank you.
Ryan, I mean, Ryan, not to like dunk on him too hard, but Ryan got hit a lot in Launch Base too.
I mean, I'm not saying Ryan's bad at video games. Like he might be. He's probably.
I would never say that.
My point is, he got hit a lot in Launch Base too, but he also like got crushed or died more in Launch Base. So I don't know.
But I mean, there's stuff that can crush you too. If I remember correctly, like the spiky things with the magnet ceilings will crush you if they land.
The spiky things with the magnet ceilings usually come from the floor.
Yep, here we go.
Yeah, but wait, you can.
But you can get caught underneath the platform as they're falling down.
Yeah, and
because you don't know when they're gonna deactivate.
How the fuck are they supposed? Okay, no.
That one, I forgot about that one.
No, Sonic has such good secrets. They say. Okay.
No, like.
That's a pretty cool secret.
That's not like the
that
first.
Would be a cool secret in like Mario or Kirby. That's not the kind of thing you're trying to do in a Sonic game.
It's not the first time in this game that spikes have been more than they appear. We had a whole level full of fake spike robots.
Yeah, but like, you're not. When are you ever going to think that you're supposed to push? You've never had to push anything in this game before.
Actually, a lot, because in Sonic you're holding right because you want to go fast, and that's specifically there to slow you down. But since you're always holding, let me finish.
I was gonna say,
I
would say you're programmed to jump over spikes, not pushing.
Can I please finish my point?
No, you can't finish. I'm done here.
I like that idea because that probably is how people discovered that.
Yeah. So here's the thing: you're holding right because you want to go fast as Sonic. That's what you do. So they place that there to stop you, as they do a lot of either blocks or walls or what have you. So when you run into those spikes, you're still holding right because you want to run forward. So you see Sonic push, as he'll usually do against a block or something, and you see it start to move. You're not. It's like unless you have super fast reflexes, you're not immediately jumping.
I would disagree. You had to hold that thing for like 4 seconds before it moved.
Well, maybe 4 seconds to get all the way over, but no, not 4 seconds just to move.
Maybe if it, I don't know how much you would notice.
Once you see that, well, that's the thing. Maybe you don't notice it. That's the point. It's a secret. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. It's a secret ring. There's always going to be more of them.
The secrets you make should be catered to the style of game you're trying to make, and that just doesn't seem like the kind of secret that's good for a Sonic game.
I mean, a lot of us didn't know it was there for years for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, like, I guess my main point is that if it's a secret that's not necessary for progression, it's okay for it to be a little obscure or a little easy to miss. But it's not like it's
this is
how
bullshit.
Are you supposed to?
Sorry,
it's kind of.
I hate that part of the same.
It's kind of the same issue.
To blow up the ground.
It's not quite as egregious, but it kind of the same issue that I had with like the robot generator in Sonic CD. You know which one exactly? I'm
yes,
talking about,
I know.
Workbench.
Ooh. The secret where the thing where the missile blasts open the top. Every iteration of Flying Battery, including Sonic 3 Air, Sonic 3 Complete, and Sonic Mania, after this, like changes it so that it breaks open immediately on the first volley, rather than you having to sit there and wait for like 9 missiles to hit the ship before it opens. That was
the thing that's annoying about it to me is that it's only specifically the right one. So if you get to the wall and nothing's happening, my first instinct playing this game was to turn around and look for some other way to go.
Yeah.
No, that one I agree with. I won't defend.
You know something else that Sonic 3 Air did? I don't know if Sonic 3 Complete does this, but like the boss, the laser thing before the boss in Act 2 of Flying Battery, they sped it up so much in there. It just like goes back and forth, fires, goes back and forth, fires. It just keeps on firing one blast after the other in air. Like, to the point where, A, it's actually a lot harder to dodge it now. So there's a challenge there. And B, it's actually over before you start to get impatient, which is, a nice change. It actually gets the original point of the laser trap across better than the original.
The glorified cutscene. That is the original one.
Well, it's still kind of just a glorified cutscene, but it's like the snappier pace makes it seem more perilous, so it kind of like gets the point of the trap across too. makes it seem like something alarming that Sonic has to get out of, and then, oh no, looks like Eggman fucked up after all. It's actually funnier. So points to the Sonic Air team and or the Sonic 3 Complete team for getting that right when it was so annoying in the original game.
And there's this guy.
This
is a clever boss, though, I will say, to make these things evil. Like, it's dumb because it keeps on smashing its kill me button. But, you know, like I always appreciate when games do this, you know, like Mimics in Dragon Quest, or the other Sonic example I can think of is when the stage goal ring runs away in Sonic Generations.
Yeah.
Like, these kinds of things I always find fun when they mess with something that you're expecting to be normal, you know?
Yeah.
And one of these days, though, it's going to have a gun. And at that point, Sonic can't do anything about it.
I'd never be caught dead using one of those things. Yeah, because you got shot.
Thank God I'm not you. Anyway.